Kia ora. Situated on the picturesque Otago Peninsula, Larnach Castle is one of New Zealand's premier visitor attractions. The castle was built in 1871 by businessman and politician William Larnach for his beloved first wife Eliza. It took more than 200 workmen 3 years to build the shell, and master European craftsmen spent a further 12 years to complete the interior. Larnach spared no expense on his dream home, which was constructed using the finest materials from around the world. It's a magnificent blend of Scottish baronial and Gothic revival-style architecture, combining Italian marble, Venetian glass, Welsh slate, English tiles, and native New Zealand rimu and kauri. Larnach's wife Eliza died suddenly of a stroke at just 38 years old, whereupon William promptly married her younger and apparently prettier sister, Mary, who also died tragically at 38 from blood poisoning. William married for a third time, aged 57, this time to Constance. 5 years on, in 1898, William's life seemed to be in free fall. Already teetering on the brink of bankruptcy and inconsolable after the death of his favourite daughter Kate, he was devastated to receive a letter which contained news of his adored wife's affair with his son Douglas. Taking a gun into a Parliament chamber, William ended his own life, aged 62. Following legal battles over Larnach's will, his family sold the house in 1906. Subsequent to its sale, the castle was used as a home for soldiers suffering from shell shock, what we now recognise as post-traumatic stress disorder, or PTSD, and as a hospital for the mentally ill. In 1967, newlyweds Margaret and Barry Barker of Auckland were driving around the South Island of New Zealand when they came across the castle. There was no denying the strong magnetism of the 25-room Gothic mansion with stair turret, hanging staircase, and the hand-carved ceilings, which had taken carpenters 12 years to craft. "We were just about to leave," Margaret recalls, "when my husband Barry said he wished the place were his. The owner replied, 'You can have it, it's for sale.' Then and there, contracts for the sale were exchanged. A few weeks later, the Barkers drove back with their belongings and set into motion an enormous home makeover. The Barkers don't dismiss rumours of a ghostly presence. Apparently, William keeps an eye on the lower floor. He's particularly fond of the ballroom and the billiards room, while Eliza keeps a mournful watch upstairs. The castle's most talked about paranormal event took place in 1994 when Castle of Lies, a play based on the lives of the Larnach family, premiered in the Grand Ballroom. As the guests were seated, a terrible gale started blowing. Smoke from the fireplaces blew down the chimneys and sent fine white soot through the air. It was followed by heavy rain and hail that crashed loudly against the iron roof. The drapes were flying everywhere, and just at the point when Larnach was about to kill himself, Margaret says, a flash of lightning shot through the room. We joined the Quantum Foundation in April 2022 for a joint investigation there. The teams met at the castle and prepared for the first of a 2-night investigation. The teams switched locations just before leaving, and Ian made one last attempt to communicate. A sound picked up on his audio recorder sounds like a growl.
Okay, I'm gonna go soon, so if you'd like to talk or do something, let me know now.
Despite the cold, we couldn't resist exploring the castle grounds, and we performed a communication session out of the wind on the front steps. With such a lot of ground to cover, we worked alongside the Quantum team to cover as many areas as possible with the investigation.
We're coming here humbly and respectfully.
The 3,000 square foot ballroom was built for William Larnach's daughter, Kate, in 1887.
Kate was actually 28 or 29 when she died, and apparently it was built for her 21st.
And it was here that members of both teams conducted a communication session.
You don't have to be scared of us. We're not here to hurt you in any way, but we do have some devices around the room. If you'd like to come close to it, I'm going to see that you're here. Come and talk to us, please.
Apart from some electrical noise from the kitchen, the ballroom was very quiet, and Barbara had set up a laser grid.
Okay.
Will be used to identify any movement in the room by blocking off the beams of light. It is important that everyone is still and not breaking any beams. Even the fidgety team members must be accounted for.
Ian, just get yourself comfortable.
On this occasion, there was no obvious activity in the ballroom, but we don't expect activity every time.
Okay, so apparently there has been a man seen here by the cloakroom, and I'm assuming that this was the cloakroom. They had a torch on, they shone the torch down here, saw as clearly a man up against the wall, realised what they'd seen, turned the torch back to see who it was, and he was gone. This is also an area where I feel really creeped out, and Tracy also has sort of had feelings here. I thought it was interesting that, someone with a dog has been seen kind of in the area, and I smelt dog.
What the one history?
Well, that would make more sense.
Well, shall we actually go into the hallway and talk to dogs? And, seriously, it's something that hasn't been tried. I definitely smelt dog in the hallway there, and it's a feeling where people think, it's creepy, so let's do it. Come on, boy. Come on. You're so beautiful. Oh, I just got a whiff of dog. Seriously, I did.
With the luxury of having a large group on this trip, it meant that all key areas of the property were covered with investigators.
Okay, who said hello? Come and tell us your name, please.
This was invaluable for helping us to debunk non-paranormal findings when reviewing recordings later. On the Monday night, Barbara captured what sounds like shouting over Lisa's question.
It's like someone's sliding a door or something. That's what I thought it was.
The next capture was at 6:30 a.m. on the morning after the first overnight stay. On the recording, we hear a scream, followed by laughing. Barbara picked up the sound of a voice which speaks over one of our conversations.
So we would like to know your name.
We found it difficult to connect both sounds to the same person. We recorded some interesting EVPs, electronic voice phenomena, on this trip. But it was an opportunity of a lifetime to spend time in the castle. We would like to thank Quantum for their partnership on this investigation, and in particular, the staff and management at Larnach Castle for their warm welcome and hospitality. Larnach Castle is truly an amazing location, and we highly recommend listeners to pay a visit on their next trip to Dunedin.